Perpescent Studios presents Hitch, a collection of unusual stories. Don't you hate when you forget to plug in your phone when you go to sleep? You wake up. Then you see your battery in the red. Then it has the nerve to update. Seriously, Hitch, my phone, it's at 5%. With the updated version of the Hitch app, riders can now send me a message along with a pickup time and location. This cuts out any social human interaction. Well, you'd think so. There's no way you're gonna stop those chatty Cathys. Every October there's a bar crawl downtown. A zombie bar crawl. It's like Girls Gone Wild, but with zombies. Oh, you dress up as a zombie? Cool. I wish you'd stay that way. I'd rather hear instead of y'all talking my ear off. With roads blocked down due to either roadblock signs or a herd of drunk zombies, it really messes up my routine. The plus side is, these zombies have Dosh. Dosh is cash, and cash is great. I've been busy non-stop. Mark, and Mark tipped me pretty good. Sabrina was a drag queen zombie, and Frank tipped me $100. A lot of people didn't even look like zombies. Ketchup rubbed on their faces would have been more convincing. I made what I make in one check in one night. Zombie crawls aren't so bad after all. I saw 3 people stumbling on the side of the road. They are definitely not capable of driving, let alone walking. If cops even look in their direction, they'll be arrested. I'm feeling good. I made enough money today. This one's on me. I pull over beside them, and one falls onto the other 2. Then they all fall. I park the car, leave it on, step out and help. Huh? They must not have been at the zombie crawl. They don't have any zombie makeup on. They're really out of it. I told them I'm gonna give them a ride, and asked where they lived. They didn't really give me a verbal answer. A lot of twitching, though. I'm pretty sure they need a hospital. I have nowhere else to take them, and I'm not gonna let them stumble around out here in the dark. We pull up to the hospital's main entrance. I get out, go around the car to let them out. They were all passed out. I pull a guy out by his feet. I get his body halfway out, and he starts to wake up. I asked him if he's okay. I remember, like it happened 5 minutes ago. Hey man, are you okay? Hold on. I'm gonna take you in the hospital. Nurse! This man is convulsing. I don't know who this is or what's going on. No. Stay back. Hey, stay back. This man's dangerous. Thank you. Miss, are you okay? Miss. Hello? Can you hear me? You need to stay with us. Hello? Hey, don't pass out and stay up. Stay awake, ma'am. She's doing the same thing as the other guy. Hey, no, stay back. No, stay back. Everything unfolded in front of my eyes in a matter of seconds, but it felt like eternity. Luckily, I made it out alive. Barely. The other 2 people were in my car. Well, they aren't people anymore. It was either face them two or the horde that was about to explode out of the hospital. They're gnashing at the window as I walk up to the car, saliva dripping down their chin and loud clanking from their teeth. I run around to the rear driver's side, hit the window, run around to the rear passenger side to open up the door. It fooled them enough to make it to the driver's seat. Slammed the car in reverse, made sure I ran them over before I took off. Put the pedal to the floor, looked back in the mirror as I'm leaving, and they get right back up. After that night, I'm not really sure what happened. The CDC quarantined the hospital for weeks. Supposedly, the hospital's back up and running. I heard there was an outbreak in South America. It could possibly be related, but the government's keeping it under wraps. So the next time someone sleeps next to you, when they wake up, ask them, "Are you a zombie?" Everyone has been acting strange lately, myself included. Not quite like themselves, almost like a version of themselves. On the outside, they seem the same, but on the inside, they're almost non-existent, ran by impulses, urges, and primitive functions. Regardless of how much humanity has evolved along the way, we coddled everyone and let a less evolved version of us tag along. Ugh, this job gets me sometimes. I might need a vacation from Hitch. Maybe ponder this idea more and make a podcast. Maybe something that has to do with standing up for yourself and following your own path in life. I see so much hate, depression, evil, and strange phenomena. But I also see people who overcome all odds, do what they have to just to make ends meet. Then all the hard work they put into their own business for years finally paid off, and they're able to not worry anymore. Trust me, I've seen terrifying things at Hitch, but I've also seen beautiful unexplained events. I've seen spirits mob around in a tempting jumper on a bridge. The spirits filled the energy fields around them with positivity, love, and hopeful visions of the future. The guy stepped down at the freedom of his own will. No one yanked him down. He chose to make that decision. How do I know this? He needed a ride and a vent. He's my neighbor, and he's doing good things now with his life. He recently moved up in his company. The guy looks happy. He's able to share all of this with his son. See, his wife passed away. The stress, the pressure, it got to him. And he forgot what it's like to live. What's the point of being alive if you can't live, right? The point is, there's always going to be something to live for. We just have to find it. And not get a skewed reality of what you're living for. Hence all these people walking around like another version of themselves. Time to go back to the grindstone. I am to pick up Frank Cypher. I drive over to Uptown to pick up Frank. He left a message saying, "The guy in the hat." Real helpful, pal. Good thing it's raining and dark out. I wouldn't be able to see you. I take a right onto Wyatt Street. Believe it or not, I could spot out Frank like a bright neon sign on a dance club with music blasting. Except Frank is quite the opposite of your typical nightlife. He has a dark gray trench coat that reached down below his knees, big black buttons all the way up the center, and a large matching fedora hat. The hat is so large that it covers his entire face, especially since he had it tilted down. The back door opens and Frank gets in. "Good evening," I said. All I got out of him was a grunt. "Where to?" I asked. "Out of the city," he mumbled. That was it. I was confused, but the man wanted what he wanted. He never took his hat off. He kept so silent and still. It was like he was wanted by the FBI or something. I drove to the city limits. This is where I stop. I don't drive out of the city during working hours. Company policy, I said. "That's fine." He handed me cash for this trip. I told him only digital transactions. And he said he doesn't have any bank cards, bank information, or his phone on him. I told him it was okay this time. He stepped out of the car and started walking to the city limits. And just like that, he was off into the night. Must be a lonely fellow. Looks like he's tired of the city. And I don't blame him. So many people live here. Everything we see on the news is about gunshot victims, walkers hit early in the morning while everyone's trying to get to work on time, cars flipped over, texting and driving, drinking to get rid of hangovers just to go to work again, to drink again later that night, and dying of alcoholism. This city is full of despair. So is that man. I feel it, but I don't have the luxury to leave. Not yet. I drive home to an empty house. The kids aren't here today. I had my yearly physical. I wanted to pick up equipment to start my podcast. Then I had a busy night working for Hitch. This is the first day I've never saw my kids all day or all night. I wake up and check my phone. Today is payday. I definitely want to see how much I made by taking on an extra rider 3 times last week. My phone takes forever to load. The internet's spotty at my house. My paycheck is the same as last week. It's not right. I worked more. I should at least have $100 more, plus whatever that guy with a trench coat and hat tipped. I'm going to have to get on my computer and check out the Hitch driver website. But I have to go pick up the kids and take them to school and grind out more riders for a bit. Frank? Already, huh? I took him more of a night owl. I pick him up in the same location, Wyatt Street. He was wearing the same outfit. He got in. Same spot, he said. Whatever you say, boss, I told him. He looked up at me. Don't you call me that. I'm nobody's boss. I am me. He made my heart stop right in place. When he looked up, I saw his face. Well, it wasn't exactly his face. He had it wrapped up with bandages. No skin was shown. Was he a burn victim? Is he blind? There's no holes for his eyes, nose, ears, or mouth, but somehow I could feel the expression looking at him. He doesn't like this world. He surely doesn't like me. He gets out, and before he shuts the door, he looks at me and says, "Tomorrow, same time, boss," then walks away. What a mysterious person. I didn't even have time to ask him about the missing money. I was too captivated by his face and the tone of his words. That's strange. I didn't realize the time. It's already that time of the day to pick up the kids from school. I honestly don't know where I lost track of time. All the kids getting out of school look happy. They don't need alcohol, drugs, fame, money to be happy. They have each other. Though, they are all glued to their phone. Maybe that's the new equivalent. Starting them young, huh? Luckily, my kids know not to have their phones out around me. At least they show me some respect. In return, I treat them like normal people. Not like some child that needs me for every little situation. I'm here for them and all at all times, but independence is super important. At least in my eyes. We go home, spend the day together, go to bed, and I settle down with a drink. I think about that Frank cipher. He said he's nobody's boss. I wonder why that struck a heartstring with me. I mean, I understand. I don't like having a boss. I don't like people telling me what to do, and I interpret that lens onto others, like my kids and the people I bump into. I'm not my kids' boss. They are not little workers being bred for mind-numbing work. So why should I enable that when they're individuals themselves? The babysitter comes over in the afternoon so I can work for a few hours. In the morning, I research how to make a podcast. It seems pretty simple. Everyone says, just start recording. You can only get better. so I purchased a condenser microphone